Hello everyone, welcome back to another video from Bioholic. Hope you all are doing well. This is your educator Ankita Biswas and today's class is all about the gymnosperms. Now before jump into this video, I want to remind you after watching the full video, make sure you check the description box below because there is a link of today's self-assessment test. And now let's begin. So the gymnosperms are the flowerless plants that produce cones and seeds. And the term gymnosperm literally means naked seed, as the gymnosperm seeds are not encased within an ovary. Rather, they sit exposed on the surface of leaf-like structures which is called as bracts. Okay? Now, these plants represent the most ancient group of seed plants. Okay, and they have been generally placed in the division Spermatophyta or the seed-bearing plants along with the angiosperms. They were not grouped separately as gymnosperms. But Robert Brown in 1827 separated them from the angiosperms and placed under a distinct group due to the presence of unprotected ovules in them. Okay? Now the gymnosperms originated much earlier than the angiosperms. However, most of the members of this group have now become extinct and only a few living forms are found today. Okay? And they are generally grouped under 4 orders. And the gymnosperms include medium-sized trees or like the tall trees or shrubs. And the example is the giant redwood tree sequoia. Okay? And now let's talk about its characteristic features. So as I have said before, these are medium-sized trees or the tall trees or it can be shrubs. Okay? So now, unlike the bryophytes and pteridophytes, the gymnosperms, the male and female gametophytes do not have an independent free-living existence. The plants represent the diploid sporophytic phase in their whole life cycle. Okay? And their plant body is differentiated into roots, stems and leaves. Now, the roots are generally tap roots. The direct elongation of the radicle leads to the formation of primary root which grows inside the soil. Okay? Now, the primary roots and its branches constitute the taproot system. And the roots in some genera like the Pinus have fungal association with the form of mycorrhiza. Now, what is mycorrhiza? Mycorrhiza is a symbiotic association of a fungus and the root of a higher plant. Okay? Now, while in some other genera like the Cycas, small specialized roots called the coralloid roots are associated with the nitrogen fixing cyanobacteria. And these coralloid roots are irregular, they do not possess root hairs or root caps. Okay? Now their stems are unbranched or it can be branched. Okay? And the leaves may be simple or compound. So in case of Cycas, the pinnate leaves persist for a few years. And in simple leaf, there is a single lamina which is usually the entire. And in case of compound leaf, the incision of lamina reaches up to the midrib, due to which the lamina is divided into several small parts which is known as leaflets. Okay? Now the leaves in gymnosperms are well adapted to withstand extremities of temperature, humidity and wind. Okay? And they have well developed vascular systems like the xylem and phloem. Okay, now we'll talk about the reproduction of the gymnosperm. So now the reproduction. So the gymnosperms are heterosporous and they produce haploid smaller microspores and haploid larger megaspores. And these two kinds of spores are produced within sporangia that are borne on the sporophylls, which are arranged spirally along an axis to form lacs or compact strobili or cones. Okay. Now these strobili bearing the microsporophylls and microsporangia are called the microsporangiate or the male strobili. And the megasporophylls are compactly arranged to form the female strobili or seed cone or macrosporangiate. Okay. So now we will talk about the life cycle of the gymnosperms. So the microspores develop into a male gametophytic generation which is highly reduced and is confined to a only limited number of cells, and this reduced gametophyte is called a pollen grain. Okay, and the development of pollen grains takes place within the sporangia. Okay. Now the cones bearing the megasporophylls with the ovules or the megasporangia are called as the microsporangiate or female strobili, as I have said before. Now the male or female cones or strobili may be born on the same tree or on different trees. Okay. So the megaspores mother cell is differentiated from one cell of the nucellus. Okay. Now the nucellus is protected by the envelopes and composite structure is called as an ovule, and the ovules are borne on the megasporophylls which may be clustered to form the female cones. Okay. So megaspore mother cell divides meiotically to form 4 megaspores. Okay. Now one of the megaspores enclosed within the megasporangium develops into the multicellular female gametophyte that bears 2 or more archegonia or female sex organs. Okay. Now the multicellular female gametophyte is also retained within the megasporangium. Okay. And as I have said before that unlike the bryophytes and pteridophytes, in gymnosperms the male and female gametophytes do not have an independent free living existence. So they remain within the sporangia retained on the sporophytes. Okay. Now the pollen grain is released from the microsporangium and they are carried in air currents and come in contact with the opening of the ovules borne on the megasporophylls. Okay. Now the pollen tube carrying the male gametes grow towards the archegonia in the ovules and discharge their contents near the mouth of the archegonia. Okay. And now the following the fertilization, zygote develops into an embryo and the ovules into seeds, and these seeds are not covered so that they are known as naked seed plant or the gymnosperms. Okay. So after the life cycle, we also need to know about the seeds of the gymnosperm. So we must know about the structure of seed. So the structure of seed formed by the maturation of the ovule in the seed plant. In fact, the seeds represent a portion of the life cycle involving the 3 generations of plants. Now, unlike the angiosperms, which is encased seed plants, the gymnosperms are all grouped together because the seeds are unprotected or naked, and that is exposed on the surface of bracts. Okay, and they have a survival factor. The embryo is protected and the stored food is available in their critical condition and gives them a great selective advantage over a free sporing plants. Okay, now the pollination. What is pollination? So water is no required for the sperm to unite with the egg, right? Instead, the partly developed male gametophyte is transferred to the vicinity of a female gametophyte within the ovule, and this is called as pollination. So thus the loss of flagella on sperm is lost eventually within the gymnosperm. Okay? So now if you have any questions or doubts related to today's lecture, then ask me in the comment section below. Or if you want to do your self-assessment test, then go and visit the link in the description box below. And if you find this video helpful, then give it a big thumbs up and share it with others. And if you are new here, then hi, myself Ankita Biswas, your bioeducator. Please subscribe to our channel Bioholic and press the bell icon to get further notifications of our upcoming videos. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching. We will meet on next Wednesday. Till then, take care and keep watching Bioholic.